What is up, everybody? Animac here for AnimeUproar, and you guys voted for it pretty convincingly. So in this video, we will be looking at the Ackerman family, sometimes called the Ackerman clan, and why this particular group of people just happen to be some of the most powerful warriors in the world of Attack on Titan. We will be covering the history of the Ackerman family and every known Ackerman in the series, including of course Levi and Mikasa, but also other members of the family that you may not know about. Some quick news before we begin: we are organizing a create your own Attack on Titan character contest here on the channel, and specifically, if there was another Titan shifter in the story that we still don't know about and you could be the one to create it, what would be that Titan's name? What would be their special abilities? And what would be the current user's backstory? You can submit your ideas to us either on Twitter or Instagram at AnimeUproar, link in the description, just reply to the thread in the link. Or you can submit it through Discord, the link is also in the description. Entries can only be 200 words max altogether if you want them to count. The winning design will be brought to life by professional artist Kuzomari, and he already brought to life the winning entry in our last contest for creating your own My Hero Academia character. This is Synchro, submitted by Gravity Falls. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see all of your Attack on Titan entries. If you enjoyed the Attack on Titan content on this channel, you can let me know by leaving a like. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This video will contain some manga spoilers pertaining to the Ackermans in particular, so a heads up on that. Although the vast majority of the material we cover here will be covered at some point in season 3 of the anime. Nonetheless, if you don't want any spoilers beyond the anime, this is your warning. Even though the Ackermans live within the walls along with everyone else, they are part of a unique minority bloodline, and this sets them apart from the rest of the population. The Ackerman family is a bloodline of superior warriors who in the past served the royal family, and the common belief is that they were essentially the royal family's elite bodyguards. However, after the 145th king decided to build the walls and manipulate the memories of everyone inside the walls so that they would forget about the outside world, the minority bloodlines did not forget, and eventually they rebelled against the king's plan to live in peace within the walls by forcing everyone to remain ignorant about the outside world. As a result of their refusal to go along with the king's plans, the royal family began to fear the Ackermans because they could not control them like they could control the rest of the population. Military forces loyal to the king, such as the 1st Interior Squad, persecuted the Ackermans and other minority bloodlines, including the Asian clan, to the brink of extinction. And when the official story begins, there are only a handful of members left, hiding in the underground city like Levi, or on the far outskirts of the kingdom like Mikasa and her family. In order to end the persecution and save the Ackerman family from extinction, several generations ago, the head of the Ackerman family sacrificed his life by giving himself up to the king and convincing the other Ackermans not to tell their children about the world beyond the walls. The head of the Ackerman family was executed, but the Ackerman bloodline survived because despite not having their memories altered, the new generation of the Ackerman family simply did not learn about the outside world, so they ended up essentially in the same boat as everyone else. Although they were still persecuted without even knowing why. So why were the Ackermans such a threat to the royal family? Why did the royal family fear them? Along with the fact that as a minority bloodline, the Ackerman family couldn't be controlled by the king, there is also a very specific reason for why the Ackermans are such powerful warriors and why Mikasa, Kenny, and Levi are among the absolute strongest characters in the series. At this point, you will remember that at the beginning of the video I warned about spoilers, so no complaints later, but in the manga we eventually learned that the reason why the Ackerman family is so strong is that they are a byproduct of Titan science. We don't know exactly what this means, but because Titans, and Titan shifters in particular, have amazing superhuman abilities, the fact that the Ackerman family is a byproduct of Titan science suggests that they also have superhuman abilities. And in fact, the Ackermans are able to attain an awakened power at some point in their lives that appears to give them superhuman strength, speed, and agility. And it seems that this awakening is triggered by a traumatic experience in their life. For Mikasa, this was when her parents were killed by human traffickers, and Levi confirms that both he and Kenny went through a similar awakening at some point in their lives. As I said, the specifics of how the awakened Ackerman power actually works and what exactly Titan science is are all still very murky. But I made an entire video a while back talking about this exact thing. In that video, I talked about the connection between Titans, the Ackermans, and science, and I argued that the true origins of the Titan and Titan power are far different from what we have been told so far. Feel free to check out that video when you finish watching this one. The link is in the description, and I will also link it at the end of this video. But now, let's talk about all the known members of the Ackerman family. Let's start off with Mr. Ackerman, first name unknown. The father of Mikasa, Mr. Ackerman lived in a forest outside of the Shingeki district with his wife and daughter. The reason why they lived in one of the outermost districts in the kingdom and in the forest rather than in a city is because they were afraid that the government was going to persecute them due to the fact that both of Mikasa's parents are part of minority bloodlines. Mr. Ackerman is of course an Ackerman, and Mikasa's mother was part of the Asian clan. Later on in the manga, we learned that this bloodline came to Paradise from another nation known as Hizuru. And from what we see about their culture and history, Hizuru is directly inspired by Edo period Japan. Even their form of government is a shogunate. The other Ackermans in the underground city were aware that a branch of the family had escaped to the outskirts of the Shingeki district, meaning Mr. Ackerman's branch of the family. From what we do know about Mr. Ackerman, he was cheerful, hardworking, and a good husband and father. He and his wife were killed by human traffickers when they tried to kidnap Mikasa and her mother. We do not know if Mr. Ackerman ever awakened to his inner Ackerman powers. He was killed by the human traffickers, so that could suggest that he hadn't experienced a moment of awakening, because otherwise we can assume that he would have been able to defend himself. But the attackers also did have the element of surprise, so perhaps Mr. Ackerman just didn't have enough time to act. Next up is his daughter, Mikasa Ackerman. Mikasa awakened to her Ackerman powers as a child during the confrontation with the human traffickers who murdered her parents. After Eren killed the first two human traffickers but was then caught off guard by the third, Mikasa experienced a moment in which she felt a great surge of power and knew exactly what to do. This is what happens when a member of the Ackerman clan awakens to their inner powers. Mikasa's purpose in life is protecting Eren because Eren saved her life after her parents were murdered right in front of her, and his family adopted her when she had no one else in the world. Eren motivated her and gave her a reason for living when she had nothing in the world and no one else to turn to, and Mikasa also made a promise to Eren's mother Carla that she would always protect him. Mikasa is currently 19 years old after the latest time skip in the manga. She was 9 years old when she was adopted by Eren's parents, and she is 15 during the majority of the Attack on Titan storyline before this latest time skip. Like the other Ackermans whose inner power has awakened, Mikasa is an outstanding fighter. She was the top ranked recruit in the 104th Training Corps and one of the best trainees in the history of the military. In the manga, it is revealed that on her mother's side, Mikasa is descended from Hizuru's Shogun clan, so in other words, Mikasa is a member of Hizuru's royal family. Then we have Levi Ackerman. Levi was born into poverty and misery in the underground city beneath the capital of Mitras. His mother, Kuchel Ackerman, was a prostitute who died when Levi was still a child, and he was taken in and raised by Kuchel's brother and Levi's uncle, Kenny Ackerman. Although Levi did not realize that Kenny was his biological uncle until much later. Levi's mother Kuchel was of course herself a member of the Ackerman family, but we know very little about her other than the fact that she lived in the underground, that she worked in a brothel, that she decided to try to take care of Levi on her own even though her brother Kenny advised her not to keep the child, so she clearly was a loving mother despite all of her struggles. And we also know that she unfortunately died of illness while Levi was still very young. After Kenny taught Levi how to fight and take care of himself, Levi became a notorious thug in the underground before eventually joining the Survey Corps. He rose to the rank of squad captain and served as leader of the Special Operations Squad within the Survey Corps. At some point in his life, Levi awakened to his inner powers, and today he is widely known as humanity's strongest soldier. Now in his 30s, Levi is so strong that he even managed to defeat the Beast Titan, who was at the time Marley's strongest warrior. Levi remains one of the most powerful characters in the series as of chapter 108 of the manga, and he is also easily the biggest clean freak in the world of Attack on Titan, which probably has to do with the fact that he grew up in very unsanitary, poverty-stricken surroundings. Next is Kenny Ackerman. Levi's biological uncle, Kenny was the one who taught Levi everything he knows. Kenny's appearance appears to be directly inspired by Clint Eastwood in his famous Western movie roles. And unlike his nephew Levi, Kenny is a tall and imposing figure at 190 centimeters or about 6 feet 3 inches in height. Like Mikasa and Levi, Kenny has awakened to his Ackerman powers. At some important point in life, he felt a strange surge of power and knew exactly what to do. In his early days, he was known as Kenny the Ripper, and at that time, Kenny was a notorious serial killer who was said to have killed over 100 members of the military police brigade. We can assume that he was targeting the military police in particular because the government was still persecuting members of the Ackerman family at that time. Eventually, Kenny tried to assassinate the Reese royal family, but he failed to take out the head of the family, Yuri Reese, who used the founding titan power to defeat Kenny. But instead of killing him, Yuri Reese apologized to Kenny for the persecution that the Ackerman family has faced. Eventually, Kenny made peace with the king and became his bodyguard and friend. And because of this, the persecution of the Ackermans stopped. Sometime later, he found his sister dead in the underground and decided to raise her son Levi in her place. After Yuri Reese died and passed the founding titan power on to Frida Reese, Kenny formed an elite squad of the military police brigade called the Anti-Personnel Control Squad. The official reason for forming this squad was to keep the Survey Corps in check, but in reality, Kenny's goal became attaining the power of the founding titan for himself. After he learned that the full power of the founding titan can only be harnessed by someone with royal blood, Kenny, as an Ackerman without royal blood, became disillusioned and ultimately abandoned his goal. And finally, we have Grandfather Ackerman, the grandpa of Kenny and Kuchel and Levi's great-grandfather. When we first meet him, it is part of Kenny's flashback, and he is already old and frail and on his deathbed. Grandfather Ackerman was planning to take the secrets of the Ackerman family to his grave in order to protect the rest of the family from information that could make them a target for the military. But after realizing the family is in dire straits, he decides to tell Kenny the truth about why the monarchy fears and persecutes the Ackermans. The grandfather told Kenny about the power of the Titans, the manipulation of memories, and how the Ackerman family was dangerous because as a minority bloodline, they could not be manipulated by the king. So it is thanks to Grandfather Ackerman that we learn the truth about the Ackerman family, their history, and their unique awakened powers. And that is it, the Ackerman family and every known Ackerman explained. Please don't forget to enter the Create Your Own Attack on Titan character contest. Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar, links are in the description, or submit your entries on our Discord, link also in the description. The winning design will be brought to life by professional artist Kuzomari. I will leave his links in the description as well if you want to see more samples of his work. And Displate.com has agreed to sponsor this contest, and they will send the winning design as an incredible metal poster to the winner and to myself. That means that if you win, you will get a high quality physical copy of your design for yourself for free. So be sure to check out Displate.com to see what kind of posters they make. Again, link in the description. If you enjoyed the Attack on Titan content on this channel and you want to see more, leave a like to let me know. And of course, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. As always, thank you all so much for watching, really appreciate it, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!